Welcome everyone to our third session of the Learn MMIO Chatbot. I'm glad that I'm seeing similar faces, the same faces that attended yesterday and the other day for our previous sessions. I hope you are learning on our sessions and you are seeing how MMIO can really help your business and your clients go digital in your marketing efforts. It would become a tool to help your clients get more sales or um, get more automation in their business. So that's the goal of MMIO to really help small and medium businesses go digital easily and quickly. So before we start with actual discussing the lessons that we are going to discuss for the third session, let me just have a recap. So this time, I want you guys to give a little recap for us who are attending this session. I want someone who can volunteer and have a little recap. What did you recall from the previous sessions? What lessons stuck with you? And yeah, I think that would be it. Just a very simple recollection of what you have learned. So anybody on the chat room or anybody on the class who can volunteer on the a short recap of what we have discussed on the previous two lessons. So just communicate with guys or just engage so that I would know that you really learned something on the previous lesson. So anybody, can I get an engagement here?
Okay, I don't mind to give it a go.
Go.
Okay, perhaps I would recommend that perhaps I would take the first part on the chat on the chat bot itself, and then I would volunteer someone maybe to get the second part. Is that cool?
That would be
I think
very
that's quite
great.
fair.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
fair.
great. So I remember on the first and second day, what we've talked about is basically I can't click the screen, so I think Colin may have to go through that as I speak. So we spoke about how we can basically join our accounts to our Facebook. First and foremost, most importantly, you're gonna make sure that you're already logged into your Facebook account. Okay, once you're on your Facebook account, that's when you can actually log into MMIO and actually get it connected together. Okay, so that's the very basic things. To go into a little bit about the chatbot, we did talk about how to build the chatbot system in terms of trigger, get started, or with keywords. And of course, keywords has three kinds, which is the wide match and also the very strict specific. And also we learned about how do we build the flow basically to sort of like a mind map kind of thing to allow people to go through several steps and from all the way from triggering to specific keywords and to sending out images, videos, etc., and then how to basically go through that funnel. I believe that is pretty much in general what we covered through the first and second, the first day itself. Second day, we went into something much more deeper, which is more interactive, where we can get information. But for that one, I think I should leave it to someone. Um, so that one is basically about user input. So anyone would like to take over on user input, I think it would be great interaction for the team as well.
Wow. Thank you for a very good recollection or recall of what we have discussed. You could be a good podcast. Do you have a podcast, Clarence? Are you doing podcast? You should, man. It's really good for you.
Unfortunately, I don't do podcasts yet, but I do voiceovers and I also do tutorial videos. So yeah, so I do some tutorial videos. So if you ever need a person, I may be possible. I'm not sure, but I don't have like excellent grammar. So I do what I can.
Man, you're like a radio host. You have such a good voice. Podcast would really do good. Would really fare well with you.
Thanks very much. Okay, so anyone want to take over? I think some of the guys are very well versed as well. Probably since we sit through together for the second day yesterday.
So yesterday we have discussed about user input, how you can create custom variables using the user input element, and then how we can connect Google Sheet. And then that is very useful if you are doing surveys, if you are getting leads, you can collect emails, phone numbers using the quick reply feature. So, and not just that, you'd be able to get the manual input of your customers, and then you can save that on your Google Sheet. So what if I want to um, send the data that I have gathered from my customer to my TRM, to my third party platform? Example, um, I have a I have a well structured survey where I collect very essential information from my customers, and I want to send that data to my CRM. So example, on my WordPress, or maybe on your favorite platform or third party platform. So how do we do that, or is that possible? So yesterday I've shown you how you can do that using Google Sheet. Now I want to show you how you can do that, how you can send data to your third-party platform using Chatbot Builder. So you can basically do that using HTTPS requests. You can also do that using webhooks. So this is where third-party integrations come in. Example, if you would like to use Zapier, if you would like to use Public Connect, and if you would like to use Integromat or any other third-party integrations that you have, you can basically get data using webhooks with your chatbot. And after that, your third-party integration can send data to your CRM. Okay, so we also have built-in integrations here, wherein even if you don't have an access to, or even if you don't have, even if you don't use Zapier, even if you don't use Public Connect, you can easily integrate with your email marketing service provider, because we have chatbot integration with those providers by default. So I want to show you how this is done, or what I'm talking about. So example, if you go to your dashboard, go to integrations, you would notice that we have Messenger chatbot integrations here. So this does not only work on Messenger, it would also work on Instagram, and it would also work with Google My Business once we launch this. So example, you have an email service provider like ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, GetResponse, and example, you have a Klaviyo or Sendfax. What these integrations do is, if you collect data, example, you collect an email address from your subscriber via your chatbot, um, you can send that email and then the name and then any other data that is essential for your campaign. You can send that over to your favorite email service provider like MailChimp or ActiveCampaign. It will be added to the list, to your subscribers list on that third-party integration email service provider. And from there, you can send an email marketing campaign. And also, if you want to use if you don't have access to this third-party integrations, we also have our own email marketing integration wherein you can also build a chatbot flow. I mean, it's not chatbot flow, but it's an email flow builder with mind mapping. It also have conditions, so you can build that as well. You can send those customers or those leads to email marketing of Marketing Master IO. So that would be another topic. That would be another lesson that maybe we can schedule how to do email marketing with Marketing Master IO. So these topics are connected: the integrations, Messenger chatbot, and then how to do HTTP requests using the chatbot flow builder. So let's go to our Facebook and Instagram feature. Go to chatbot flow builder. We are now going to discuss how to use HTTP template or how to use HTTP requests. So let's use or let's activate the page that we have used previously. So let's have a sample here, HTTP connection, HTTP request. Okay, great. And then let's say that I have a Zapier account. Let me use Zapier. Okay, let me open up Zapier. So what we're going to do is we are going to send data from your chatbot flow to Zapier. And then from there, from Zapier, you can do whatever you want. Basically, you can send it to whatever integrations that you want. This is not only limited to Zapier, by the way. You can use you can connect it to other integrations that that the example Public Connect or Integromat. So the process is basically the same. Okay, let me log into to Zapier. Oops, I think I should share my screen here. All right. So let me log in. And then let me go back to the screen here. So by the way, guys, what integration are you using? Third-party integration or integration service provider like Zapier or Publi? What do you use mostly? Just would like to know, or yeah, if you're using such. So Coach JP is using Public Connect. What about others? Are you using other um, or are you familiar with those type of services? Integrately. All right. Public Connect. Oh, Public Connect is quite popular here. Oh, VBout. Does VBout have uh um function just like Zapier? I didn't know that. I didn't know that you could do Zapier like functions and VBout. I'm familiar with Integrately. I'm familiar with Zapier Connect It. I'm familiar with that, and Publi, Integromat, but I'm not familiar with VBout. So, oh, all right, all right. Yeah. Okay, got it. So you are only using their API, so it isn't. It's like Active Campaign. Okay, got it, got it. Okay, thank you for clarifying about that. What VBout does. So with Marketing Master IO, you can connect to your favorite third-party software like Active Campaign, VBout, or any software that accepts API or they have a public API. You would be able to send and get data from them using the HTTP requests. So for this example, we are going to use. Oh, why are they asking for my password? I should have an account ready for this. Okay, let me go back here. So let's say that we have a survey. Okay, so I am using the let's use user input here. I want to get data from my subscribers. Example, click your email below. Okay, let's use quick reply here. Oops, sorry. Let's use quick reply and then email. And then here, we are going to save this email to our custom variable. So session2 email, I'm going to use this. And then I think let's just create a new custom variable here. Session3 email to avoid conflict from the automation that we have done yesterday. So this is my session3 custom variable email. And then let's have a little thank you note here. Thank you for thanks. Your email is, and then let's show the email address of our customer, which is session 3 email. Okay, very good. Session 3 email. User input session 3 email. Okay. And now we are going to send an HTTP request to our third-party integration. So to do that, we can have a series here, HTTP request series. And then we are going to configure the HTTP request here. Or maybe instead of doing that, we can do this. Well, it's basically the same. But I just want to show you that you can connect the HTTP request here. You can have an output connection of your HTTP requests. So let's go back to Zapier. I think I need to use another account here. Okay, I'm gonna use another account for Zapier. Okay. So for this flow, let me just explain it a little. So you have a text, and then you use the quick reply to get data. You are saving that data on our user input with our custom variable session 3 email. And after that, we are going to send this this data using HTTP request. We are going to send that data to Zapier. And then we are going to send, or we are going to, we are going to send them a thank you note, send a thank you note to our subscriber. Not sure why this is. Why is it asking me for password? All right, it's working now. Okay. So for this one, I'm gonna use the webhook, webhook's app of Zapier. I believe your third-party integration have a webhook as well. So let's use webhook here. A webhooks by Zapier, and then search for webhook here, or we can just create a new Zap altogether. Let's create a brand new Zap. We are not going to use a template. So the process is basically the same with Public Connect. The process is the same with Integrately. The first part would be webhook. This is the first part. Okay. And then what you need to get first is the webhook URL of your integration, or the API. If they have an API, the API endpoint. So you need to get that as well. So for this one, we are going to catch a webhook. And after that, get the webhook URL. So let's copy our webhook URL here. And then we can now go to our HTTP request. Click in here and add the request URL here. And since we are sending data, we need to use the post request. Okay, so let me just explain it a little more. So this is what we call HTTP methods, or HTTP request types: the GET request, POST request, PUT, and delete requests. So these are all a REST API language. So this is basically how the internet talks with one another. If you are getting data, or if you want to, if you want to get data from your third-party platform, then what you need to do is use the GET request. But if you are pushing data, or you are going to submit data or send data to your third-party integration, then you are going to use POST request. This one, we are going to use this POST request. So basically, POST requests are mostly used to send a whole data. And for the other two, the put request and delete request, these are seldom used, but they are also used, but not very much used for the general public. So let's just concentrate on using the get request and then the post request, because most likely these are the two request types that you would be needing the most if you are going to send and receive data from your third-party service provider. Okay, so we are going to get a or send a post request here, and after that, we are going to edit or to to we are going to put in here the what you call this, what data are we going to send to your service provider. So let's enable respond with an empty body. This is good. So now what we're going to do is let's click continue in Zapier. Okay. After that, oops, sorry. I just want to make sure that my screen share is correct. Okay, very good. This is correct. So we are going to test our integration. So we can click test trigger here later on once we have built our JSON code here. So we must send a valid JSON code. So are you familiar with building JSON? Or this is actually JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. So this is basically how we send, or this is the way we structure data so that our third-party service provider would be able to understand the data or the request that we are giving. So anybody here who knows how to structure a JSON code? Are you familiar with JSON? Anybody from the class or from the webinar? JSON object notation. So not familiar with it yet. So if you're not familiar with JSON, there is a helper online. You can use a JSON Creator. So go to google.com, and if you don't know how to create this, okay, so JSON basically is a data that the computer understands or that the internet understands. So go to Google and then JSON Online Builder. Okay, JSON Online Builder, and then there's a lot of services in there. Just pick what you want. In this case, I'm going to use this. Okay, JSON Online Builder. Oops, I think this is not the correct JSON Online Builder or generator. Let me generator. JSON Online Generator. So you can use this tool. So let me just give you the basics. So the way JSON is structured is you have a key and value pair. So it starts with a curly bracket, and then it ends with a closing curly bracket, and then it will be just like this example. Hello, this is your key, and your value is world. So, okay, so our data is correct. If we send this request, it will be interpreted by Zapier. So if we go here, oops, sorry. If we go to Zapier and then click test trigger, let's go back here to our request and then click send or test request. So after you click test request, we can go back here on our trigger, test the trigger, and then click test request. We go back here. As you can see, the data that we have composed on our messenger bot is now in here. So this is the key and this is the value. The key and the value. Okay, so let's test another one. Let's have a little lesson how this can be done. So I'm gonna choose or load more. Okay, let's choose another, or let's test more. Refresh the fields, test the trigger. Okay, how do we add another test here? Okay, so let's go back here and example, I want to send the email. So the key, we are going to use the key email. And then for the value, we can use, let's say, so this is the difference between the key and the value pair. So this is the key and the value. So don't worry, guys, if this is harder for you. There is a simpler method that I'm gonna teach you later on. So this is the key and this is the value. So example, this is the email, hello@test.com. So we are sending an email, hello test.com, and then if we click send test request, if we test the request and go back here to Zapier, we can load more data. As you can see on test B, you would be able to see that the data that we have pushed is already here. Email, this is the email, and this is the test request. So that is how you can send data. So by the way, for the JSON builder, this is the JSON builder. I think it is a little bit complicated. Okay, so let's just go to the other one, to the other method where you can send the data. So there is that is the first method, and then the other method is by using the webhook action. So let me just delete this, and then we are going to get back to that later on. So we are going to add an action here, add an action, and then what we could do is connect it in here, and then add the action here. And then on the action field, there is actually a webhook, a trigger webhook event here. And then we can add that. And then add the webhook URL of your favorite third-party integration. So this is the webhook URL. I'm gonna copy this one and then add it to the URL field of our trigger webhook. So in this case, this is a lot easier because you don't have to compose a JSON object or a JSON request. You won't have to do you don't have to do that because the system automatically creates a JSON request for your campaign. So if we save this, we need to trigger the flow first. So to trigger the flow, we are going to use a trigger, add the trigger on the first message, and then use the keyword. So let's say webhook. Okay, this is our webhook request. And then we are going to save. And after saving the webhook request, we are going to test it inside of Messenger. So click test, send a test, and then let's go along with our flow. Okay. So let's wait for this to fully load, our Messenger to fully load. Okay, so while this is loading, I'm going to show you how you can also use or send data to your third-party email service provider. So in this case, we are using API of Zapier. What if I want to send the leads or the email to my third-party provider? You are going to use the action element as well. So go to actions, and you'd be able to see here the list of your integrations. So these are your integration. Active Campaign, Get Response, Klaviyo, Mailchimp, and SendFax. So since we have an HTTP request, you can basically connect to all or any email marketing service in the industry. But currently, we only support Active Campaign, Get Response, Klaviyo, Mailchimp for the action element. The advantage of using the integration or the native integration of Marketing Master IO or MMIO to this email marketing services is you won't have to build an HTTP request. You won't have to build a body request. You won't have to make your JSON correct, because the JSON value or the data that we are going to send to our third-party platform is automatically created by the system. So all you have to do is to complete your integration settings. So just go to your dashboard, go to integration, add your API key for your favorite email marketing service provider. And after that, create an action. And then, example, I want to send it to MailChimp. Okay. So after that, you are going to choose which list you are going to add this email that we have collected. So in this case, I have 2 email lists on MailChimp. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save the email to those lists by executing this action configuration. So we are going to save this, and then let's go back here. This is the trigger. This is the flow that we have just created. This one. Okay, so let's trigger this. But I think before we trigger, let me clear our screen. Clear the screen. Okay, so before we trigger, let's make sure that we are accepting requests here first. Okay, so once you are sure that your third-party integration, just like Zapier or Public Connect, is now accepting requests, we can now click the email of our testing messenger, and then it would send data to your third-party integration. So let's go back to Zapier, and then go here and then load more. Click load more. You would be able to see that we have the third request here, request C. So request C, this, as you can see, these are the data that are sent by the MMIO webhook or action webhook. So we have page ID, the first name, the last name, the source. We have the email here. We have the last subscriber interaction time. We have the PSID, and we also have the last message here. So example, your subscriber types something, and if you send your webhook request right after the user typed that request, you can actually use the last message of your subscriber and parse it as a data to send to your third-party service provider. So this is in a JSON format, or a JSON format that I have shown you earlier, but it is automatically composed by the system. You won't have to manually compose your JSON code. All you have to do is just use the webhook URL of the action trigger. The action element, and then add your webhook URL trigger here. And yeah, that's about it. So also, since we have 2 actions here, what it does is it will first trigger the webhook, send data to Zapier, and then it would then add the email that we have collected to our list in MailChimp. So if you have other service provider, you can actually add it here. So if you have a list on ActiveCampaign, if you also have a list in Klaviyo, in SendFax, so yeah, that's how easy it is. Currently, I don't have a list on ActiveCampaign, but yeah. So once you add all the actions in here and confirm that, all of these service providers will receive the data that our action webhook will send. Okay. So that's how we can do that using action webhook. For HTTP, if you would like to manually send data, example, you don't have the integration in here. Your email service provider is not natively integrated with MMIO yet. What you can do is, yeah, you can use Zapier or Public Connect or Integrately or whatever. But what if you don't want to use Zapier? What if you don't want to use Public Connect? Can you directly send data to your third-party service provider or third-party CRM without middleman? Yes, you can by using HTTP, but the only downside is just make sure that the data that you are sending is correct, or the way you structure your JSON, it should be correct. So the way to do that is, let's go back here to Zapier. Example, this is your API or the webhook of your third-party service provider. Go here, add the URL, and then add the post request. For the body, we are going to compose here. Example, I want to send the email address or the email that we have recently connected. So I'm gonna type in here email, and then on the value field, I'm gonna use custom variable. So I'm gonna send this, the session 3 email, copy this, and make sure this is in the correct structure. Okay, so actually this is the correct structure. Email, session 3, okay, good. What if I want to send the data that we have collected yesterday? Okay, so example, phone number. So we have collected it already for this specific user, for my test user. So let's use session 2 data. So let's use phone here, and then make sure this is here. Okay, so for you to see, let me zoom my screen. Okay, let me zoom my screen here. Okay, so this is how we structure that data. So let's separate it with a comma here, and then let's use another custom variable. Session 2 house type, add that, and then session 2 budget, we are going to add that as well. So what we could do is compose a correct, we are just going to format this correctly. So this is how you can format. Again, if you don't want to format it on your own, you can just use the webhook, but the webhook is already fixed. You won't be able to manipulate the data in there. So, but in this case, if you use HTTP request, HTTP post request, you would be able to manipulate the data, what type of data you would like to send. So this is in the correct format. So email, phone, oops, this is a duplicate. So type, house, underscore type, and then budget is budget. Okay. So the format is correct. Let me double check that this is correct. Okay, good. So if our JSON body is invalid like this, body is not a valid JSON object, then we would not be able to send our data successfully. In this case, what's wrong is we have an extra comma that is in here. So once we fix the formatting, the error went away. So if I click send test, so as you can see, the system is asking me for the test page subscriber. The test page subscriber, this is the data that we are going to get from, or the subscriber where we get the data. So since we are using this profile, we are using Calvin. So the Facebook profile that I'm using to test our flow is Calvin. So that is the Facebook user. I'm gonna search here Calvin. Search Calvin, and then yeah, so this is the data, Calvin, and then I'm gonna click continue. By the way, this is only for testing purposes. It will not be required for the actual scenario. So yeah, so once we have successfully sent the test message, let's go back to Zapier, and then we are going to refresh. Okay, so let's go to the request, and then we are going to load more. We should be able to see request D here, and if we check request D, you would be able to see all the data that was collected yesterday, which is in here. Okay, so that is how we can send data. We can compose it the way we want. That is the advantage of HTTP request. You are free to compose the data, but it would require you to actually master, or to actually know how to structure your JSON code correctly. So house type, apartment, budget 100 to 200K. So that's pretty good. That's how we can send data manually. Yeah. So after that, let's erase this, and then I'm gonna confirm the changes, and then let's reset the flow here. Okay. So we have a question here. So what's the map response is for? So the purpose of map response, actually, the purpose of map response is, example, I want to get data from my third-party platform. After getting that data, the response, or that data is what we call a response. And then that response, we are going to save that response to your custom variable, so that we can display that custom variable on our chatbot. So we need to map it first. So response to custom variable mapping. So that's why we have the feature called map response. So I'm going to show you how that can be done. Let me just save this. I think I have already saved this flow. I'm going to show you how it is done on another flow that I have already created previously. I think I saved that flow here. Okay, the joke chatbot flow. Okay, so let me show you this. I'm using an HTTP request to get joke data from a joke third-party provider. So this API, this service, as you can see here, this is a URL. Okay, this is the URL. So this service provider is the one that provides the jokes. Okay, I did not programmatically create those jokes and save it on the database. No, actually what I did is, we have a service provider. They are going to provide the jokes. What we need to do is request that joke from the provider, and then we are going to parse the data, so that data that the provider has given us, we are going to save that on a custom variable. And once that data has been saved on the custom variable, we are going to display that. Okay, so the data that we want is the joke, actually, the joke field. Okay, so let me have a test, or let me show you how it works. So example, you have already configured your request well. So as you can see, I am getting data. I am not pushing data. I am not sending data. I am getting it. So that's why I use the get request. Okay. And then this is the URL where we can get data from. And after that, let me clear the drawing first. Okay, we are going to test our request. Okay, so as you can see, there is a response. We already received the data that we previously requested, or that we requested from this. This one has given us that data which is in here. We need to access that data. So that's the purpose of map response. We are now going to map that data. So click map response. And after doing that, you'd be able to see here the list of data that we want. In this case, what we want is this data, the joke. This is the joke, actually. This is the joke data that the service provider has given us, or the API has given us. So oysters hate to give away their pearls because they are shellfish. Okay? Ha ha ha, whatever. So let us click this. Let's select this data. And then we are going to save that to our custom variable. So example, by default, you won't be able to see that here. What you need to do, if you create a brand new request, click test request, and then click map response. By default, you won't be able to see anything here. What you need to actually do is, search the data that you want to get, which is this joke. Select the custom variable. You can just search for it in here. And then you need to click the add button here. Again, I want to stress it out because you might forget this. You need to actually add that to officially include that data on your flow. So without clicking the add button, it will not work. Your setting will not be added. So you need to let the system know that this configuration is okay, and you want to add that configuration on your flow. So to do that, just click the add button, and then it will be added in here. So you can add more responses here. You can actually add that. Okay, but for now, since that is the data that we only want, we only want one data here, which is the data of the joke. So we can confirm the changes now. Okay, so after that, you can send another text message here, but this time we are going to send, you don't have to manually type the joke here. What you need to actually do is go to custom variables, search your custom variable where you saved that joke data, and add it on your message, which is this one. And after that, we are going to save our HTTP request, and then we are going to send a test. Let's see what it does. Okay. Okay, good. Let's wait for the message to trigger. Okay, so this is the trigger. We need to click the button first here. Do you want me to tell you a joke? So if you click yes, it would request a data to our URL or to our API, and then the API would send a response and then save that response on your custom variable, and then display your custom variable on your chatbot like this. So as you notice, I did not manually type the joke here. It was dynamically provided by our API. And then yeah, we displayed the joke here using using the custom variable, and then we added a quick reply here, and then we rerouted the flow to the very start of the request, which is here. So if we click another joke, it will send another request to our API, get that data again, save that data on our custom variable, and then display that custom variable on our chat. Okay, so did I answer your question well? So another question here was, so it is like importing to a CSV CRM, and you have to tell the program which headers match with what fields. Correct. Correct. You're correct. You're basically mapping you're going to map that data, and then you are going to say to the system that, system, I want this data to be saved on this custom variable. So the catch here is, another cool thing here is, if your custom variable, the one that you used on your HTTP request, if your custom variable is connected to let me go back here. If your custom variable is connected to your Google Sheet, then it will also be saved on your Google Sheet as well. So yeah, so I have already taught you how you can send data and how you can get data, and then after that, map that data on the flow. So let me show you another example here of an HTTP request, how we can get data. So COVID-19 updates. So let's use this flow. I'm going to show you how it is done here. So as you can see, we have a lot of HTTP requests here. We have various countries here. So let me go back here. For this API, it is requesting us what date that what are the dates that we want to display. So example, I want to display November November 15, or let's say November 16th. I want to display the November 16 COVID-19 updates for that specific country on November 16th. And then let's send a request. And then we are going to map the request. Oops, the field failed. I don't know why. Test the request. Okay, so if we don't get a response, it means that our test request failed. Okay, let me check if the API is still working, because there are cases where the API that you are getting data from is not working. So it would it would uh, it would cause your API request to fail. So maybe I need to review this API documentation. Yeah, so using HTTP requests, you would need a little bit of technical knowledge how to really build and get and receive data. So um, that's the only thing that you would need to consider if you're using HTTP request. So another thing here, another question. So are those jokes completely random, or are they a select number of jokes? What if I only want to approve jokes and not something that would be offensive to non-related topic? Actually, the jokes, that the data of the jokes, we just got them from the service provider. So it's actually the service provider that gives us the data. So if your service provider have an option to filter out the jokes, then you can select those jokes. But if your service provider does not give an option for you to select what data you want to receive, yeah, you won't have a choice really for that. So it's really up to your service provider what data that you want to get. Example, you have a WordPress account, or you are using WooCommerce. You want to get orders from your WooCommerce store. You can actually install an API plugin on your WooCommerce and then get the API endpoint or the API URL, and then you are going to create an HTTP request to that API URL. And after you got that data, you are going to map that data and save the data on your custom variable. So it's really up to you how you can build or how you can filter that data. So the way in the industry, it is usually done using fields, using filter fields like this one. So this is not on MMIO. It's really it's actually the industry standard how this is done. So it is on the parameters. It is usually done on the parameters here. So as you can see here, we have country, what country we are going to get, what are the dates, maximum, and the fields. So this serves as the filter. Okay. This one is not provided by MMIO. No, actually, this one is provided by your service provider, by your API. All you have to do is use those filters that are provided by your API on your HTTP requests. So that's how you can filter data. So another. Um, so we have another question here from Clarence. Yeah, I'm curious about that too. Is it possible to choose only one specific category? So I same answer as before. You can actually you can filter out by using the filters that is given by your service provider. So example, the joke chatbot. Actually, the joke API service provider, they actually have a what we call this. They have a parameter filters here. So what you can do is you can search for their documentation or their help section, and then you can search for the filters there. And after that, you can apply those filters. Example, let's go to jokeapi.dev. So this is the website that where we get the jokes from. By the way, guys, this is also the same process if you want to build a weather bot. Okay, if you want to build a bot about weather bots, so you can if the subscriber asks what's the weather on your place now, or what's the weather on this specific location, So you can get data from the internet or the API, and then after you get that data, you are going to display that data on the your chatbot. So I think I need to. Do you want me to elaborate on this? How you can get data? Example, I can give you a fresh example how it is done. Is it okay? Or do you want me to jump to another topic? Or do you want any more clarification? How you can use the
Yeah.
HTTP request?
Yeah, you can do that real quick.
Okay, so example, I want to get current exchange rate. Would that be interesting? I want to get the exchange rate for a specific country. Would that be okay? So, do you have any other any idea or any other that you want to? We are going to build that on the spot, so that you can see how it is done on the spot. Any,
What's something that you would actually need to filter some of the information or filter the parameters? Can you use that example?
well, for the joke API, I can use that. I can use joke API as an example to filter out political jokes or safe jokes.
Okay.
Or
I think
would
that
that
would
be
be
okay?
helpful. Yeah.
Okay, let's use the joke API again. Okay, so the joke API is in jokeapi.dev. So let's go to Google and then google.com. Let's search for joke API. So, and then we are going to see their filters, what filters we can use. Joke API dev. Let's search for that. So this is the API where we got the data from. And then let's click their data or documentation, and then let's search here. So by the way, guys, are you seeing the screen that I am sharing right now? Are we still on MMIO or are we on the Joke API website now? What are you seeing?
We can see it. We can see it. Joke API.
Okay, very good. So for the Joke API, they have a filter here. As you can see, this is the filter. They have a flag here. So NSFW or religious jokes, political jokes, racist jokes, sexist jokes, explicit jokes. They have a filter here, and they have a preview of that filter here. Okay, so example, I want jokes, any jokes, programming jokes, miss jokes, dark, fun, spooky, Christmas. So any type of jokes. So you can click any here. Language is English, and the least black. I'm gonna select them all. All right. I'm gonna select all of those, and then the response is JSON, and then single. I want single joke, and as you can see here, these are all the flags. These are all the flags. So what I'm gonna do is I can manually copy this, and then I will explain it to you later on how this is how to identify the parameters. So I'm gonna copy this. Let me go back to our chatbot. Oops, I think that is the wrong one. Let me go back to my chatbot. Go back here, and then go back to my request. I'm gonna open this up and then delete the URL that we have used previously, and then paste the new one. All right, so as you can see, once we pasted the new one, the new parameters are automatically generated here. Okay, because that was included on the filters. Because we are lucky that Joke API have a preview of the filters. But what if we don't have a preview of the filters? Normally, if you don't have a preview of the filters, this is what the API would look like. This is what the API would look like. If we delete that, okay, this is what the API would look like. It's a cleaner URL. Okay, cleaner URL. So if we read the filters that are provided by your service provider, we can go back here. So the flags are here. Actually, you can go down below. You can search for the flags that are explained here, the specific filter. So I'm gonna use the blacklist flags. The blacklist flags, this is This is the jokes that you don't want to show to your subscriber. So if we add, you can add this as a parameter. Oops. So this is the parameter, by the way, guys. This is the parameter, and the value, these are the values. Add it on here. Okay. So I am blacklisting the NSFW jokes, religious jokes, political jokes, racist jokes, sexist jokes, explicit jokes. All of those are blocked. But what if I don't have a black? What if you can actually remove any of this? So we are now only blacklisting NSFW, religious, and political. So if we send a test request here, and we go back to the map, oh, our API is failing. What could be wrong here? Let me just refresh our field, our dashboard. So yeah, so the point here is the flags, or the way you filter data, is really not up to MMIO, but it's really up to your API service provider. That's how it really works out. So let's go back here. Okay. So there are a lot of use cases for this one. Let's go back here. Example use cases here. Use cases are, example, you want to send daily encouragement to your subscriber so that they would engage with your bot. Example, you would send today. Do you want to receive your encouragement for today? If they click the button, yes, send me an encouragement, then you are going to get data from your API. After that, you are going to send that data to your subscriber. So let me just delete this, and then I'm gonna add a new API here. Okay. Okay, and then click the URL that we have. Okay, we can just delete all of them. And then I am going to blacklist any political or racist jokes. We can do that. Go back here, paste it in there, and then send our request and map our request. And then as you can see, hey girl, are you at school? Because I want to shoot some kids. Oh my God. So yeah, you can filter out this type of jokes by going back in here and then add a filter here. Example, I'm just gonna filter out here and then copy all of the URL and then paste the URL here. Let me go back here, delete, paste. So we have more flags. We are blacklisting, or we are not including, or we are filtering out these types of joke. So if we send a test request, we should not be able to see any type of jokes that are really. Example, I have a fish that can break dance only for 20 seconds though, and only one. So as you can see, this type of joke is not political, it is not racist, it is not fun, it is not dark, because we have already filtered out this joke using the filters that are provided by our API, by the API that we have used. Was that clear? Another use case is weather joke. Weather, if you want to send the weather updates or COVID-19 updates or currency, you can even create a currency updates. Example, currency, world currency API. You can search that, world currency API, for free. There are a lot of free APIs that you can get it from. So example, this one, exchange rates API. All you have to do is just create an account on this one. Yeah. So get the API key, create an account, and then get the API URL. But I'm not gonna do that right now because we would run out of time. So yeah, whatever data that you want to get from the internet, you can use that on your chatbot. This would open up a lot of possibilities, and it's really then up to your imagination how you can use this, how you can leverage the HTTP requests. Okay, so I hope that is clear enough. So was that clear enough? I have already discussed the HTTP and the webhooks. Just like what I have said yesterday, we can now move on to other topics. Do you agree? We can now move on to other topics, or do you need further clarification how you can use an HTTP request? Okay.
Can I make there's two things for me, Colin.
Sure.
Can
Sure.
we, even on this one, can we do another? As soon as possible, just HTTPS, just alone, because I've got other. I just got some things because I've got other tools that I need to make sure I got this to maximize everything that I want, that I need. Also, I'm here in the States. I got to go to jury duty here in about 15 minutes, and I'm on my computer. I'm getting ready to request to get on now on my phone while I'm driving. So I still got about a 30-minute drive, so I at least want to listen in while I'm going. So if you, can you let me in? I'm getting ready to get in on the.
Sure. Just request and we will let you in.
All right, thanks.
Okay. So yeah. Actually, HTTP requests have a lot of potential. It will work on Instagram and it will also work on Google My Business. So yeah, let's move on to another topic. Okay, so we have already discussed the chatbot flow. There are a lot of a lot of tools here that I think I would not. I won't be able to discuss all of them, but I guess we can schedule another series for the topics that are listed in here. So as promised yesterday, since I asked you guys what topics that you would like to learn, what came up was the use of growth tools, the use of persistent menu, welcome message, icebreakers, get started, and chatbot defaults. Keywords, I'm not gonna discuss that so much because we have already discussed that using the keyword trigger of your chatbot. It is basically the same. What the keyword feature does is it will give you a list, all of the keywords that you have used on your bot. You are going to get a list of that on a table, and then you can basically enable and disable those keywords using the keywords tab here. So not too complicated. So I think I would concentrate on these tools: growth tools, persistent menu, welcome, icebreakers, and chatbot defaults. So let's start with growth tools. Okay, go back here. Go back to sorry, I clicked the wrong. Let's go to growth tools. So using growth tools, we actually have 4 types of growth tools: checkbox plugin, send to messenger, two-way chat plugin, and m.me link. So checkbox plugin and send to messenger plugin, you are going to use this if you would like to integrate a button to your website. So it would need a little bit of programming, but what I actually suggest is all of these tools are almost the same, really. All of these tools are almost the same. The checkbox plugin basically is if they click your checkbox, they would need to log into Messenger, and then they would send you and then it would send a message to their messenger. So what I usually do, what I usually do is this one. We can basically replace checkbox and send to messenger. This one, we can replace, instead of using this, we can just use this, the m.me link. We can build a button on our landing page and then copy the m.me link from our flow, and then add that to our landing page. So let me give you an example. So example, you have a landing page and you want people to subscribe to your messenger channel. So how do we do that? Let me go here to email marketing, landing pages. Okay. So you can basically use any landing page that you want. Actually, you are not locked in on using the landing pages that are provided by MMIO, but you can also use this if you want. So yeah, let me use, what template do I need to use here? I think I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this template. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a button, and on that button, I will send, I would send my subscribers to my messenger channel if they click that button. So let me open up another window here. Okay. So this is how you can build a landing page on MMIO. So instead of getting their email and instead of a form, what I could do is I can delete this, and then I can have a button here. Okay, so let's say that I want them to subscribe to my messenger channel. So how do we do that? Okay, let's first get our URL or our m.me link on our growth tools. And after we got the button, after we get the URL, we can redirect our subscribers to our button. So let's say get goodies on Messenger. Copy this. I want a larger button. Okay, so example, I want them to message me on Messenger. So this is example, this is my button. What I need here is a URL. Okay, so go back here, email marketing, go to Facebook and Instagram, go to growth tools. I'm gonna add a new growth tools using m.me link. And after that, I'm gonna specify the growth tool name, example, survey. And then I'm gonna use, is this the page that we have created the survey? I don't think this is the right page. The page that we have used yesterday was this one. So I'm gonna activate that page that we used yesterday first. After that, I'm gonna create a chat, a m.me link. So let's say survey m.me link, and then search the survey, test Instagram. What was the chatbot that we have created yesterday? Okay, new flow, another feature, HTTP request.
Simple messenger.
Send
Sample.
to simple. All right. Is this the one? Yeah. Sorry, I was blinded a little bit. So this is the one that we have created yesterday. So I'm gonna have a reference here. Example, my MMIO survey, and then go to next. After that, we are going to get the our QR code. A URL, you will get a URL and the QR code. So what I'm going to do is copy the URL, go back to my landing page builder, add the URL here. And after that, once we have added our URL, we can add an image here. Add an image, go back to our image, open the image on a new tab, copy the URL of our image, and then go to URL, replace the URL of the image, or paste the URL of the image here. All right, so that's how easy it is. So if I save this, we can basically send this landing page to our subscribers, wherein they can scan the QR code or they can click a button, so either of the two, and then they will be redirected to my flow, to the flow that we have previously created. So if we if we view this, this is example. This is an example landing page. So are you seeing our landing page now? Hello? Yeah. So as you can see here, this is the QR code, and this is the button. And if we click this, we will be redirected to Messenger, and then the survey will start. Okay, so yeah, that's how we can use the growth tools. So that's basically it. Yeah, and then begin the survey, and then save your survey on your Google Sheet or send the data to your CRM using HTTP request. There are a lot of things that you can do actually using growth tools. So yeah, another growth tool that you might be interested in is the customer chat plugin. What does it look like? So actually, we have the customer chat plugin here, Marketing Master IO on our landing page. It's basically an avenue for you to communicate with your subscribers on a chat widget. So even if your subscribers or people who visit your website can actually chat with you, even if they did not log in on their Messenger account, or even if they do not have a Facebook account, they will be logged in, or they will be able to chat with you as a guest. So yeah, after a while, the chat widget would trigger, and then yeah. So how do we get the chatbot here? What we could do is click here. Yeah. So this is our what we call this. This is the chatbot plugin. The chat widget plugin. So are you seeing the chat widget plugin, guys? This one?
Yes, we do.
All right. So this is created using the customer chat plugin. And then you can basically create, or what you only need to do is create the chat plugin, grab the code and paste the code on your landing page. So I'm going to show you how you can do that now. Go back to your chatbot. I mean, go back to your growth tools, and then add the name here, my chat widget. And then example, I want to trigger the sample messenger survey. Enter the domain that you want to use. Example, this is my domain. This is my landing page domain. I'm going to copy that, paste the domain in here with HTTPS. I should not forget that. And after that, the reference. So the reference is chat widget sample MMIO. The label basically is you would add a label or a tag to subscribers who have engaged with you inside of your chat widget. And then you can change the color here if you want, the color of the widget. And after that, you can change the size of the mode of the widget, hide, show, or fade, and then the delay of the widgets. Example, we have a 5-second delay, or we can have a 1-second delay or 2-second delay before the widget would show, or the chat widget would show. Edit the login text or the greeting text, and after that, click next, and then it would show you the code here. So this is the code that we are going to copy. Copy the code. And then on your landing page builder, example, this is your landing page builder, whatever landing page builder you use. Most likely they have an HTML, what we call this tag like this one. So we can copy, or we can create an HTML tag here or anywhere. Let's say I want to add it on the bottom of my landing page, and then paste the code there. After pasting the code, we are going to click save. And after clicking save, we are going to preview our landing page. Okay. So let's wait until all of the data has been saved. Okay. After doing that, let's go back to our landing page, and then force refresh our landing page. Okay. After forcing refresh our landing page, the chat widget should show. So if it does not show, maybe the yeah, it's now showing. This is our chat widget. So are you getting how this is done, guys? Do you have questions so far? How you can use growth tools? Was it straightforward, or was it hard to integrate growth tools? Hello?
No, clear.
Okay, thanks. All right, after that, we can move to another growth tool. I mean, so basically these growth tools, the checkbox plugin and the messenger plugin, they are basically the same as m.me link, but they have a bonus. For the send to messenger, you won't have to create a button element because the button is automatically generated by Facebook. And for the checkbox plugin, same thing. You won't have to create a button. It will automatically be generated by Facebook. But basically, the function is just the same. So in my case, I really usually only use the messenger link, because using m.me link here, you can get the QR code. That's the important thing for me. After getting the QR code, you can put it on your landing page. And yeah, the use cases. I have seen MMIO users, my current users, who are using example. They have a travel agency wherein they have a landing page, and they want their subscribers to communicate with them in Messenger. So they are using Facebook ads, and then to collect leads. So basically, they collect leads using two ways. They have an email where people they can get the email on the landing page, and they have a second option where people can scan QR code and subscribe their users or people who visits on their landing page onto their messenger channel. So dual approach. We have MMIO users who are doing that. Another way people use messenger marketing is using, I mean the growth tools is on their e-commerce store. So they have built a chatbot where people can order a food with their e-commerce store. And what they did was they printed out the QR codes on their restaurant, and then they distribute the code on they included the code on the menu. So once customers get the menu, they can scan the QR code, and then they can actually order their food inside of their messenger inside of their messenger app, without waiting for the waiter to come to their table. So it really helped them. So those are the use cases of using the messenger growth tools. Okay, so yeah, we can now move on to another tool that you can use. How about chat broadcast? So click chat broadcast. So basically, it is very straightforward. You are going to send message to all of your subscribers, but be careful when doing a chat broadcast, because if you don't do it carefully, if you do not follow the messenger policy, it can get your page banned. A lot of people have been using messenger, I mean ManyChat, for all those years, and they are just spamming people with 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 their messenger blast. They keep on broadcasting to their messenger subscribers, and in return, they were flagged as a spammer, and their page was unpublished. So they are blaming ManyChat because of that, but actually it's not ManyChat's fault. It's the user's fault, because they used the tools that are available carelessly, and they did not understand about the policy. So I don't want that to happen to you guys. So that's why I'm warning all of you, if you want to use chat broadcast, be careful about using the messenger tag. So we have a what we call this, a filter here, you can only send chat broadcast to the subscribers who have interacted with your page within the past 24 hours, so as to follow the messenger policy. If you have a better use case, example, you want to send a chat broadcast to all your OTN token. I have also discussed that yesterday, to safely send a broadcast using OTN token. And another way is using messenger tags. If you don't use an OTN or one-time notification, you can use messenger tag here, but be careful in using messenger tag, because you are not allowed to send a promotional message, and you can only send this if you are using, or your messaging is in accordance with the use case that is specified by messenger. So if you broadcast in here, if you delete this, we can launch our broadcast here. We can launch our broadcast. Let's just wait until all of our subscribers are parsed. Example, we have a target subscribers here of 12,000 subscribers. If we click launch, we are going to receive a warning. So this is the warning that we are going to receive. Wait, are you sending a promotional message? So this is a messenger policy. We also have prepared a way, or a blog wherein you can check, you can read this and be informed how you can safely send a chat broadcast to your subscribers. Okay, so let's move on to the next feature. For the chat sequence, we have already discussed that. So let's move to the persistent menu. So what does a persistent menu do? So before that, we have a question here. What if I want to send a notification that my live video is about to start? What would that fall in? That would fall in on the event update. That you can use event update messenger tag. Okay. So yeah, just be careful when using your messenger tag, because it must be related with with the use case, or with your message. And then also with message with using event update, one thing that we need to know is Facebook wants to make sure that your subscribers have previously subscribed to your event. All right. It should not be used as a cold message, I mean cold marketing, wherein your subscribers don't know that you have an event and you just send an event message to your subscribers. And if Facebook finds that out, that you cheated the system, then it could be a ground for your page to get unpublished. So yeah, what is persistent menu? Persistent menu is a menu where people can see on their mobile phones, or in their um, on their messenger app and web as well. So it would look like this. So example, let's say that I have here book now. That is my first learn more. So you can check the preview here. It would look like that. So after that, we are going to specify, are we sending them to a website, or are we going to send a flow? So let's say that I'm gonna send them to a flow. Okay. And then after that, we can launch our menu. And then this menu, mind you guys, that this menu, the persistent menu, is only available if you launch your menu. If it won't show if you have not launched. So this is not a default thing. So if you see here that the status is enabled, then you can go back to your messenger. You can refresh your messenger, and you should be able to see your menu on your messenger here. So for desktop, you should notice that we have the menu here. So kindly check the drawing on the screen where I'm pointing to the menu. So if we check the menu, we can clear this. if I click this menu, you'd be able to see that we have two menus here, Book Now and Learn More. So if I click Book Now, it would send the flow that was that we previously attached to that. Okay, so that's pretty simple. So we have a question. Persistent menu, so cool. Of course, yes. This is a built-in. I mean, this is a feature that was published by, or that was provided by Facebook for businesses to use. All right, so we can move on to another tool. Let's configure our welcome message. Oops, sorry about that. My browser crashed. Okay, this is the first time that I encountered this. Anyway, let's continue. Let's go to welcome message feature. The welcome message feature, again, it is going to show up only to subscribers or to people who have messaged your page for the first time. So your previous subscribers will not be able to see your welcome message. So this is how it would look like on iOS. So let me clear the fields here. For example, hello there. This is my welcome message. And then click launch. And then after launching our welcome message, we are going to go back to Messenger. And then what we need to do is we need to delete this conversation because we want to simulate people who have messaged our page for the first time, because our Messenger welcome, the welcome message on Messenger is only shown to people who have messaged our page for the first time. So let's delete this conversation first, delete the chat, and then let's visit our page again. So after visiting our page, you would be able to see here, okay, choose an option. Okay, the welcome message, it should be launched already. Let me refresh here. We should see it in here. I think it is only shown to mobile. Choose the option. I think it is only shown on mobile. Let me double check my mobile phone if this is working correctly. Check the mobile phone. I'm gonna search for the page. Just wait up, guys. I'm just going to make sure that I got this right. Okay. I'm gonna check that page. Okay, and then I am going to delete our conversation with this page to simulate delete conversation. Okay, let me search that page again. Yeah, my guess is right. It is only showing on. It won't show on the welcome message. Does not show on the browser, on laptop and desktop. It will only show on your Android, on your Messenger app, whether it is in iOS or it is in Android. Okay, so please take note of that. The welcome message will only work on your mobile phone, on your mobile app. It is not shown on desktop such as this one. So don't be surprised if during testing, if you don't see your get started message on your web browser, it's normal because the welcome message is only shown to subscribers who have engaged with your page for the first time inside their mobile phone. Okay, so let me disable this. Let me disable the message, and the persistent menu, let me disable that as well. Let me disable that menu. Okay, let's proceed to another feature, which is the icebreakers feature. For the icebreakers feature, this is used to display an FAQ, or frequently asked questions, on your page. And then you can assign a flow to that specific FAQs. Example, what are, let me go back to my page here. So example, what are your services? So by the way, guys, I changed my or activated my another page, which is the Marketing Master IO page. What are your services? And then let's assign a flow here, services. What's that flow again? Welcome message flow. I think this is the flow. Welcome message. I forgot the flow that I have created before. Where is that flow? This one. Okay. I think this is the flow. No, I think this is not the correct flow. Let me just choose whatever flow here. Support or pricing. No, that's the, okay. Customer support chat. Okay, so I'm using this flow. And then let's add another question. What are your, let me know your pricing. Okay, let me know your pricing. And then let's assign a flow here. Support flow. Okay, and then let's add another question here. Talk to human, agent, or support. So basically, I just use the same chatbot flow all over and over again to all of my FAQs. So you'd be able to see your FAQ here. So that is what it would look like on your mobile phone. So let me launch this icebreaker. And then we are going to test. Let me refresh this first. So yeah, I know. I think we need to use another page. The page that I used here was this page. This was the page that I used. I am going to delete the conversation first because the FAQ or the icebreaker feature, same with get started and same with welcome message, it is only shown to you, to the subscribers who have messaged your page for the first time, just like this one, right? So notice that we have a new feature here. Look at that. What are your services? Let me know your pricing. Talk to human. Okay. So if we click this, it will show us to the flow where we assigned it earlier. Okay. So as you can see, it is a random flow because that is what I assigned here. Okay. So that is how the FAQ works. So let me answer a few questions here. I check on mobile. Yeah, so it only works on mobile. Another question, Colin, is it better to arrange the messenger flow in an alphabetical order? Is it easier? It will be easier for search. Well, it's really up to you. It's really up to you how you organize your flow. Yeah, it's really up to you. You can optimize your flow name depending on the way you search. So it's really up to you. So that's how FAQ work. So let's move to another feature, the get started. Actually, the get started, we have already discussed this yesterday because there are two ways you can trigger the get started. The first is you can trigger this using the chatbot flow. You can also trigger this using the Facebook and Instagram and then get started button. So that's easy. So I want dive deeper into this one because that is pretty easy. I have already discussed this. Now let's move to the chatbot defaults. Now, what's the purpose of chatbot defaults? Chatbot defaults is used to trigger a flow in which it's basically a fallback flow, a fallback message. Whenever there's a keyword that does not match the keywords that your subscriber has entered. So example, I have a keyword here. If I type help here, if I type help, it would trigger a keyword. Yeah, so yeah, this is the keyword that was triggered. Oh no, I must move. Yeah, so as you can see here, if I click help, I mean if I type help on my menu, or capital help or small letter H, I think it is small letter. Yeah, so I think I use the strict or match keyword type here, or the strict keyword type. So yeah, if I type help, the keyword will trigger. But if I type something here on the flow that the bot does not understand, it will trigger our chatbot default. So this is our chatbot default. This is the chatbot default. Okay, so I think there's there is we are planning to develop a better chatbot default here, um, wherein the subscriber can request a live chat agent, and after that, the chatbot default will be stopped, or it will not trigger as long as you are talking with a live agent. So that is still on the roadmap, but for now, it will the chatbot default will trigger every time there's a keyword that the bot does not understand. So how do we configure this? We can actually configure this by going to Facebook and Instagram, then go to chatbot defaults, and then assign the flow here. You can build your flow by clicking add a flow, and then you can build the flow on the spot here, or you can assign the flow that you have previously created. Just select your flow here, and then the specific message that you would like to send, given that flow. So if you don't want your subscriber to receive this, if you don't want to, if you want to disable your default, you can actually click disable chatbot defaults. So by disabling your chatbot defaults, even if you even if your subscriber chats a message here that does not match a keyword, your chatbot will be silent. Okay, so that is what the chatbot default is for. So we have another feature here that is only specific for Instagram. Okay, on the chatbot defaults, you would be able to see here that there is another feature called story mentions assigned. So this is specific for Instagram. So let me select an Instagram account here. I think this is my Instagram. I don't have an enabled Instagram for this. So yeah, I haven't taken care of my Instagram account yet. So, but what you could do here is, let me go back. Let me go back here, enable, disable. So what the Instagram story mention does is, if there is someone who mentions your Instagram account, then you can send a message to them automatically. So that's how it is done. I need to add an Instagram here. Go to Instagram, add Instagram account, continue with Facebook. I think it was disabled when I changed my password. So be careful when you change your Facebook password, because the connection with your Instagram and your page will be reset. What you need to do is you need to import your pages and your Instagram account again. But don't worry, your flows will not be deleted. Your flows will not be deleted. But what it would do is it will refresh the connection between your MMIO account and your Facebook and Instagram pages. Facebook pages and Instagram accounts. Okay, so we have a question here. Question: I've been playing a little with the action within the flow builder. I can just notify admin through Messenger if someone requests for a human agent. Yes, that's correct. Can I have the flow to specifically notify an admin that I have? And by admin, is it admins within MMIO or is it admins within the Facebook page? Well, it is admins on your account and your team members. Okay. So again, let me send it to the chat. Admin and team members. So you can actually select. Oh, let me send it to everyone instead of a private message. So check your chat. So basically, you can specify or you can select which team member, or yeah, if you want to send it to yourself, then include yourself, include the owner of that account. You can also send it to all your team members. The team member, you need to add it on your account. So to add a team member, click my account and then click team members. And then on the team members, you can add a new team member here. And then once they are on your once that team member is added, that team member would need to subscribe to messenger notifications. So step one is add team member. Step two is subscribe to messenger notification. So to subscribe to for your team member to subscribe to messenger notification, all your team member have to do is click my account and then go to account settings. And then under account settings, you would be able to see a notification tab in there. So here, so click account notifications, which is here, account notification. Because if your team member does not subscribe to account notification, then you the notify to admin will not work on that specific team member. So click account notification and then click subscribe to messenger here. Subscribe to messenger notification. And once all your team members, each team member should subscribe to your account notification and messenger in order for you to be able to send a messenger notification to your team member. So I hope that was clear. So was that clear? Do you have any clarifications about that? Was that okay? Let me get your response. Okay, very clear. So another question was, after Facebook is linked, some of my FB business page provide as a picture. How can I get the correct photo of my FB page profile and picture instead of a question mark? Well, by default, the system is getting should be able to get the what we call this, should be able to get the messenger, because it is actually Facebook who gives us this data. And if Facebook does not give this data, then it will be displayed as a question mark. So MMIO does not have a very special access to Facebook, because basically it is Facebook who gives us all of this. And if Facebook does not provide the logo, it will be displayed as a question mark. But all other pages like this one, they are all a verified and published page. So that's why Facebook has given us the logo. So most likely these pages don't have a logo, or these pages has been flagged, or these pages does not have a connection with MMIO, or these pages are unpublished. So those are the instances where the page logo does not show up. So another question is, I understand that the OTN requires permission from MP page settings to activate the beta access. Correct. You would need to go to your Facebook page. Let me, for the record, let me show you guys how you can request the OTN access. Go to your Facebook page. I think I failed to mention that yesterday, so I'm sorry about that. That is a very crucial information. Thank you about that, Clarence, for reminding me. So for the record, this is how you get the approval to use one-time notifications for your specific page. Note that the approval is page specific, meaning if you have a lot of pages and you want to use OTN for all of those pages, you would need to request one by one for each of those pages. So go to messages, go to your page settings, and then go to page settings, click settings. And after you are on your page settings, click advanced messaging. And after clicking advanced messaging, go down below, you should be able to see the OTN or one-time notification feature here. That one. Okay. Okay, so I hope that's clear. So actually, we have an FAQ. I have already added this on our FAQ, but for the record, if you don't know how to request a one-time notification, this is it. Go to your page settings, click advanced messaging, this one, and then enable the one-time notification feature. And once you have done that, only then can you use the one-time notification feature. Okay, so yeah, there is actually a guide how to do that. So yeah, thank you for that. So let me go back. Let me go back to where we are. What was our topic? Yeah, we are discussing about Instagram. I refreshed my permissions on Instagram. I hope the connection is correct here. I'll go back to our. Okay, so the connection is still not eligible. I need to get back to you guys once my connection with my Instagram business account has been reinstated. I need to investigate it further. Why my Facebook account is why my Instagram accounts are not reinstated yet. But in your end, if you have your Instagram account, you can actually play it around a bit. You can play around with the story mentions feature. Go to Chatbot defaults, and then select your Instagram account here. After selecting your Instagram business account, go to story mentions and then assign a flow. It is the same process as you would in assigning a default reply. It's the exact same process wherein you would build a chatbot flow and then you are going to assign that chatbot flow on your Instagram story mention. So I'm sorry I'm not able to show it today, but you can play it around. I will build a tutorial how you can actually create a story mentions for Instagram. So that's it. I think that would mark the end of our lesson for today. All right. So another question. Hey, Colin, can you please confirm if you are making replays available of all Zoom trainings? Yes, there is a replay. The session 1, session 2 are already recorded. For today, it is also recorded. And then once we have published this on our YouTube channel, we are going to email the replay link to you guys as well. And we are also going to publish this on our Facebook page and on the groups. You can check our official Facebook group, and then you can check the replays there. Yeah. So any further questions before we end our session 3? Okay, great. The time frame next week. I would be able to publish the replays next week. All right. So do you have any clarifications so far on the topics that we have discussed? So are you now more confident that you can now build your automations or use MMIO to its full potential. I understand the built-in features. Okay. Yeah, that's the group. Group Marketing Master IO. That's correct. That's the group. Okay. So you don't have any more clarification? Oh yeah. John just messaged me about the HTTP request. Yeah, if you want to know more about that, if you want to dive deeper in really building a better chatbot using HTTP, sending data and getting data, yeah, it would be a more technical lesson, I guess. We can dedicate one session for that. Sure. I will schedule a dedicated lesson for HTTP, and I think if you really want to learn more about HTTP, you could send me some use cases that you think would be helpful for you. If you have something in your mind like, I want to build this one using HTTP, I think this is possible, but I don't know how to do it. So that would be a great topic. So Web Kung Fu Academy. So Mr. Thong has sent us here zencodes.io, inspirational quotes API. Yeah, that would be a great API. So we can get quotes from that API and then send an inspirational quotes to our subscribers. This is really helpful for engagement. As you may as well know, since we have already explained the importance of following the messenger policy, we need to keep our subscribers engaged with us so that the 24-hour window continually gets refreshed every day. So once our 24-hour window gets refreshed every day, it means that every day we would be able to send a promotional message to our subscribers. And more than that, our subscribers will warm up to our brand because they would be able to see our brand every day. They would be able to message us every day. So if your flow would become part of their daily habit, if they want to, they can just go to their messenger and then request an inspirational message. So example, they request an inspirational message a day, and then after that, after 24 hours, send another inspirational message, and then you would have a quick reply at the end wherein you would invite them to engage with your bots. Example, you could say that was this did this inspire you? So that is a question, and it is you should place that on a button. So once they click that button, the 24-hour window gets refreshed, and then tomorrow you would be able to send another quote or another message to them, and always include another button for engagement. So by doing that, once your subscriber keeps on clicking a button every day, then you basically can message any promotional message that you want to your subscriber every day. So that's another use case. So I have friends who have done a quiz where they do a little quiz to their subscribers, and if they got it right, um, there's a little reward that gets accumulated, and then it would gamify the engagement with your bot. It would become it would make your bot engaging, and after that, every sales season, they send a promotional message to the subscribers who have engaged with their bot safely. So that is another use case of using HTTP to get engagement from your subscribers. So another question here, just a very quick question. Would we be expecting anything to do with WhatsApp someday in the future? Of course. Actually, we are even behind schedule with WhatsApp because we were planning to publish WhatsApp. Um, I think it is on November, but it was swapped with, we prioritized Google Messages instead, Google My Business Messages instead. Maybe we would be able to publish that by the end of November or early January. But one thing's for sure, we are going to add WhatsApp automation. So another thing to look forward to is Facebook is developing something or cooking something up on WhatsApp, because currently you won't be able to use WhatsApp automation without having to pay for a third-party API provider like 360, WhatsApp API. There are a lot of providers there that provides WhatsApp API, but you would have to pay monthly. There's a separate fee so that you would be able to use the WhatsApp API. But in the future, early 2022, if my sources were right, I think it's early 2022. That requirement would be would no longer be applicable, because Facebook, they would be the one to host the WhatsApp API. It means that um, we won't be needing third-party WhatsApp API providers anymore. We can just directly go to Facebook and use the WhatsApp API. But that's still brewing. That's still on the making. It's still in the future. We don't know if it will be that feature will be. I mean, the move of Facebook to make it free, using WhatsApp API as free as Messenger, as free as Instagram. We don't know if it would push through on the on first quarter of 2022 or second quarter of 2022. But what's sure is within the year 2022, first quarter, second quarter, WhatsApp accessing WhatsApp will be as free as Messenger. It will be as free as Instagram. It will be the same. So yeah. So do we have any questions so far before we end all three sessions?
Can you give and this is the last thing, just for the bots, what is the quickest and easiest way? Because we know we built some flows, but to set up like demos for anybody that wants to demo, what's the easiest way to put for somebody, like a scenario to where when somebody comes to you, it's like your agency, you're doing something. Somebody comes and one bot that will, as soon as they get there, they'll say demos, and then as soon as they get demo, it could be like the real estate bot, e-commerce bot, example. Just telling them examples of what it can be. What's the easiest way to set that up? And I know it probably has to do with the either icebreakers or maybe you set up one flow that already has those options there, like the carousel. That's what I'm trying. Hopefully I'm clearing my question.
Yeah. So there are ways that I think that you could accomplish that. So on that scenario, we have different types of bots. We have real estate, we have dentist, we have a gym, we have different types of industry. If you are setting those flows on the same page, I mean, you have one demo page and you are doing all of those flows, then it's easier because all you have to do is assign a get started flow the way that I showed you. If you're correct, that's the easiest way. Set a persistent menu and set an icebreaker. Icebreaker is way better than get started on this scenario. So yeah, and then assign your flow for each of the question. But What's harder is if you have a different page. Okay, example, your demo for real estate is a different page than the one that you are using right now to engage with your potential customer or potential client. You have another separate page for e-commerce, demo for e-commerce, and you have a separate page for gym. So what you could do in that regard is um, use m.me link. Okay, you would need to have a button, and then send those people or if they click the button, they will be redirected to another page, and then your flow will start from there on. That's how that's a harder way, but I think that's a more appropriate way because it would show a different it would show up a different logo. You would show a different um, a different name. So yeah, that's how you could do that with different pages.
But what if could I under one page, say like if I had one page that was just like demo, I just create a demo page, and inside of that one page, I could create different flow, like a bot for dentist, bot for gym, bot for this. And if I do that in that one page, in that one bot, how could I, like on a carousel where, I think I've seen it, as soon as they get there, they swipe and it's a gym demo bot.
Yeah.
Swipe this demo bot,
So let's say that you have that. Let's create a flow. What you could do is you could create a flow. Let's say this is the main flow. You have a main flow, and on that main flow, you are going to redirect each of your subscribers to your flow. So you can create a carousel here. You can create a carousel here like that. So example, you have a carousel here for e-commerce. Okay, and then here, instead of next step, what you could do is you are going to use chatbot flow, and it would require you to actually build the demo for the e-commerce beforehand. So example, I have a demo here for e-commerce bot. So this is my demo for e-commerce bot. And then you have a separate here, use a button. Let's say that this is show demo. And then for the, instead of carousel one, e-commerce feature, e-commerce bot. Okay. And after this, you have another carousel, real estate bot. And then you have a button here, show demo. And then for the button type, select chatbot flow, and then point it to your chatbot flow to your real estate demo, real estate. So like this, real estate, and then welcome message. And then another example, gym. Okay, and then you have a button here, show demo. And then assign this button to a specific flow. And that flow should be your demo for gym, like this one. And then that's the welcome message. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. And after that, you can assign this flow on your get started button, or you can assign this on your FAQ. Okay, so this will become your main, or you can even add another text here. And then you can say that choose any of our bot demo below, and then say swipe left. And then yeah, so this is the main message, and then this is your carousel that points to all your bot demo. Okay, so you could do that, and then you can assign this. Once you have created this, you can actually say that this is my main bot menu. Okay, this is my label. So after I save that, after I save this one, let's say I want to save this. you can go now to your FAQ. Go to Facebook and Instagram. Go to Icebreakers FAQ, and then assign here view demo bots, and then assign your main flow. Yeah, that's it. So if your subscriber clicks view demo bots, they will be redirected to your menu, wherein they would be able to see the different bots, different cards of your carousel representing each of your demo. And if they click show demo, they will be redirected to your bot. So I hope that was clear.
Yes, it is. Thanks.
Okay, great. So I hope our session today was helpful. Don't worry, guys, if you were not able to catch everything that we have discussed, because this session is recorded. I will publish the recording next week, hopefully. And I will also publish this on our Facebook group and our Facebook page, and I will email this to you guys so that you can review all of those, all of 3 sessions. And then for the separate session wherein we would concentrate more on HTTP, don't worry, we will schedule that separately. And also, this will not be our last session or webinar series, because we have a lot of feature in Marketing Master IO that we still have not tackled on, or we still have not discussed. So we are going to discuss that as well. So, and one thing to be excited about, we are going to launch within just a few, maybe 1 week or 2, we will launch Google My Business to all users. So you will be able to access this as well. And you can start, giving this as having Google My Business also as an added service to your clients if you have clients. You can have, it will also be an added, business revenue for you if you want to pursue, like an agency, if you want to pursue helping businesses get their business automation on Google. Okay, so thank you guys. This is already morning here and in the Philippines, so good morning everyone, and good night for if it is night on your time zone. And yeah, thank you everyone for coming, and see you on our next session. Bye bye.
All right. Thanks very much, Colin. Cheers.
Cheers.